Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Golia. I am an actor, singer, and creator here in Los Angeles. And I am so wonderfully excited to be here with actor, director, and musical theater consultant, David Edwards. How's it going, David?
It's just great. We're enduring the holiday season around here in
Yes,
New York City.
fantastic. Well, before we get started, I'm going to show everyone a quick video of what you're all about.
I am what I am. I don't want praise. I don't want pity. I bang my drum. Some think it's noise. I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each feather and each spangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? There's a way, said the wise old man, a way done by everyone.
Okay, we love that. You are so talented and you do absolutely everything. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. Where were you born and when did you realize that acting and theater and all of that was your path?
Well, I used to say it was I was born with it. My mother had been in show business. She was a dancer, and she was a classical ballerina, and quit very early because of some issues with health and just realizing that it was a tough business. So, but she had some friends who were in the business and had kids who were in the business, and my brother and I went to dancing school at a local studio that was run by a woman who she knew from her childhood and had kids in show business and Broadway shows and on TV shows. And they kind of nabbed us to start doing this. But I always wanted to do it. My grandmother brought me to see The Sound of Music when I was 3.5 years old, which is sort of insane. And I don't remember ever wanting to do anything else.
Oh my gosh.
And my mother, of course, was supportive of this because she had a passion for it as well. But she was the antithesis of a stage mother because she knew how difficult and how brutal the business could be. So she was supportive, but she didn't push me. And
I love
uh,
that.
yeah, and I'm really grateful for that because I had a relatively solid um, childhood and education, so that it was, whatever I did had to be extracurricular and not interfere with my schooling. So I
Yes.
do appreciate that. She wanted to make sure I went to prom and do all of the things that you're supposed to do. And truth be told, at that point, I thought, oh, I'll do anything to be acting and singing. But I'm glad in hindsight because a lot of the kids who were my peers at that point either got burned out or got robbed of a lot of wonderful childhood experiences and
Yeah.
education. Yeah, yeah.
Totally. I mean, it is something so hard to balance. Like I'm very similar to you in that like I was dancing 25 hours a week in high school and in all the AP classes and like trying to do everything and be, on the student body president and also the head of the choir committee. So it's like it's very hard to balance all of it.
Chronic
But it prepares you.
overachiever. Yes.
Yes. It prepares you for real life, right? Like cuz
Well,
we're
you
all
know,
doing it now.
I think the thing too is that we know when we go into this business that we have to diversify and keep growing because the rules change all the time, that the what is in fashion, and whether it's musically or the style of plays, it changes.
Yeah.
And also, you're not the same person at 22 that you are at 52. So you have to adapt. And you see people who were leading men and leading ladies, or ingenues, juveniles, who have a tough time transitioning to character work. And you have to just keep moving forward. And that's what drew me also to coaching and directing, because I felt I had something to offer in that way. And I didn't want to direct as a knee-jerk reaction to working with directors who maybe were not up to snuff, or in my opinion. I wanted it because I felt I had a passion for it, and that I had a special thing that I could offer. And so that's how that happened. And it, as I say, being able to do musicals and straight plays and direct, it it triples your chance of having work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. So how was the pandemic for you? Were you like, how did you keep your creative juices flowing with everything shutting down?
Well, I have to say I was extraordinarily fortunate, because right before the shutdown, I had finished a run of a play. So I had some work right before, and I had enough weeks to get my health insurance through Actors Equity. And I needed more, but the play I was about to do was shut down for 15 months. And so that was a blow. But the lovely thing about it is the director and the playwright, everybody wanted me so desperately for this play that I kept thinking there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Whenever we go back to work, I will have at least one job.
Yes.
So, and that, but during that time also, I was fortunate enough to get a 5-week job doing a virtual play.
Oh my gosh, for 5 weeks?
Yeah, well, we rehearsed for 4 weeks, then did a capture, and then they streamed it for another week. So it ended up to be 5 Actors Equity weeks, and that was remarkable. But we were literally doing Zoom rehearsals with people. Myself and one other actor were the only people from New York, and there were there were actors from all over the country, mostly Atlanta, and one young man who was actually in Kenya. So yes, it was a Lorraine Hansberry play. So a very, very complicated piece, and a neglected piece. And I was very happy to be part of it. Considering none of us had ever done a virtual play before, including the director, it ended up being rather well done, I thought, when I finally saw the stream. You know, there were a few moments where actors were looking up here and the other actor was down there, but there was nothing really you could do at that point.
Right, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so wild.
It was a little like film acting, because you only see this much, and you wanted it to be more intimate. But also you had to have those a certain element of stagecraft, because it was not a screenplay. It was still a theater-based piece.
Oh my gosh, that's so wild. Oh my goodness.
And I should say that the play that I was about to do that got postponed, right as the theaters started to open up, it did come about. So
good.
I was very fortunate to. So much to say is that I know a lot of other actors, including people who were doing Broadway shows, who were out of work the entire time.
Right.
And so I may not have been making a Broadway salary, but I was lucky to be able to do anything at all during that period.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's just absolutely wonderful. And so it must have been, I know that Equity had a big, like, trying to figure out, is it Equity, is it SAG, because it's filmed and so, but you got.
Well, and I really wish that, being a member of SAG, AFTRA, SDC, Equity, I wish that we could somehow come together and have some plan where artists could qualify for their health insurance and their pensions in a collective like that. But
Oh my gosh, it would
I
be
don't know. There's
incredible.
that ship, I guess, has sailed.
Oh, I hope not. I'm with you on that.
I mean, you
That
can
would
be
be
active in
incredible.
all of these unions and still
Yeah,
fall through the cracks on those
I
things, and
know.
that's frustrating.
Current. It's
Uh,
just like,
uh,
it's crazy.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, so do you have any advice for anyone out there with like how to transition? Like, because you said you've been acting from such a young age and continue, and there's no stop in sight. Like, where, give us a piece of advice.
Well, I guess I'm at this point. I'm too old to do something new and too young to retire. So I'm a lifer. But what I say to people, I know a lot of people who have found other journeys, and I think as long as you still have a passion for it and don't expect that. That it's going to give you fame and fortune. Not that it can't, but that is a very rare thing. As long as you feel fulfilled by your work and you have enough to sustain you, just keep growing and keep expanding your horizons. It's there are just too darn many of us who love what we do, and you can also be what we call an amateur and pursue it without having to depend on it for your bread and butter.
Right.
The word amateur means someone who does it for the love. So in that sense, I guess
Huh.
we're all amateurs in a
Yeah.
way. And as I say, I have been fortunate. Work begets work. So I never say no unless there's really a good reason to say no. Certain projects, you think, is that really right for me? But they must have thought so. And then you have to instigate your own projects sometimes, and it's really hard to have the wind beneath your wings sometimes with that, because it costs money and it costs time and effort to put on your own project. But either one of those things, if you say, I'll take a chance, if this person believes I can do this role or I should pursue this, well, you have to be fearless and
Yeah.
give it a shot. Yeah, I just keep growing. It's a tightrope walk between having to have enough confidence and enough drive to get you to move forward, and yet still be vulnerable enough to be open to the things you still have yet to discover and improve on in your art and your life. I think so.
Oh my goodness. That was such beautiful advice. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I've had a couple of cups of coffee, so I'm,
Great.
I guess
Oh my gosh,
my
no, I
circuits are
absolutely
cooking.
love that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's like what I like to think about it, if like what is success? Like doing what you love to me is success.
Yeah.
And so great.
I used to think, you have dreams about doing fabulous roles in Broadway shows and everything. Well, I have done a little bit of that, but I've done fabulous roles in regional theater and
Nice.
and dinner theater and all of that. So in a way, sometimes I say you're having the kind of career you wanted. It's may not always be on the same scale, but it's been there. I wanted not only to be considered someone who did musical theater, but it took me a long time to get a resume where if I took all of the musicals off, I would still have a strong resume. And
Yes.
so I'm very proud of that and pleased at that. And I will say that sometimes if you resist being typed, it's harder to get to a certain point because because there's so many of us, casting directors, producers want to say, that's what they do. So
Yeah.
if you constantly change and are very versatile, sometimes it's harder to place you in a box. It may keep you working, but it may not get you to be in the minds of casting people, specialized and
Yeah.
have a signature way of working. So
Right. Ooh,
there's
that's
a
amazing.
yin and yang to all of that.
Right. Totally. Totally. Oh, well, listen, David, it was so wonderful to talk with you. And I'm so excited to have you here on the FENIX platform. It's going to be a great way for everyone to connect with you and for you to connect with other collaborators, and a great one-stop shop for everything David Edwards.
It sounds wonderful. I'm so glad we got a chance to talk and meet.
Yes.
And I wish you all the best with the project and with
Thank
your
you.
career as well. I'll
Thank
have
you,
to
thank
get to
you.
know a little bit more about your career. I'll go to your
I know, we'll
website
swap
and
one
find
day.
out. Good.
All right, it was so nice to talk with you. We'll talk soon.
Same here. Bye-bye.